Happy Friday, everyone. I hope everyone had a good week. Sorry it's taken me so long to get back with you guys. Today I'm going to show you my paycheck from Monday as well as Jake's paycheck from today. To be honest, I actually already filmed my paycheck, but the video was just not great. And I just decided I'll just start over, kind of start over. I'll just show you everything that I did. And then also today I'll go through the Jake's paycheck with you guys. Um, so first, let's go ahead and get opened up to October. So if you remember from my first video, if you watched it, if you didn't, that's okay. You can go back and watch it if you want. I already went through and I put out all my bills on the dates as well as all my paychecks. And if you remember, right over here is where I note how in the first pay period, I work 12-hour shifts and I have a set schedule, which is Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. And my pay periods run from the 1st through the 15th. And then I get paid on the 22nd for that. And then the 16th through either the 31st or the 30th. And then I get paid on the 7th for that pay period. So I just got paid on the 7th. And then this is today. And Jake just got paid today. So my paychecks cover the bills and Jake's paychecks cover all of our variable spending, groceries, gas, eating out, our personal spending, and everything like that. So we are almost halfway through the month, and so far everything in this one has almost been paid. The camper is paid today, so I'll go ahead and mark that off. And I talked about how I use this dashboard here just to put stuff so that hopefully I don't forget. Costco was a big issue, and if you watch my last video, or I'll just tell you now, we went ahead and just emptied the savings account and paid off our RAV4. It only had a little over $9,000 left on it, and so we decided to do that, and then we'll have to start building back up the sinking funds because we kind of emptied them because we figured we had time to build them back up, especially with having the extra 254. But the problem is that we went to Costco and did not. I forgot to pay that for whatever reason. And it was a pretty big one because we found a table that we really liked that was like more than 50% marked down. It was the last one, and we're actually moving at the end of this month. And we really needed a table because the place that we have right now, it doesn't have a place for a dining table. It has a huge island, and that's pretty much what we use as the table where we eat at. But the next place we're able to have a table, and we got a really, really good deal. And so we bought that. Long story short, for whatever reason, and because this is real money, like this is our real bills, and mistakes happen, and you just plan out, to make up for it. And that's just how life goes. Unfortunately, we're not perfect. We're still working on trying to be better at sticking to a budget. Sometimes it's off, but we try really hard not to stray. So because we had some extra money that I thought was unaccounted for, and that's the problem, is that since I didn't pay that Costco, it looked like we had extra money than we really did when I went back through my checking account and figured out what was already in there for certain bills and for variable funds and everything like that. It looked like we had more money left over than we did. So we were like, oh, we paid off this bill, let's celebrate and let's go away for the weekend. And this happened, and we're engaged now. So from my first video, I made the joke that I was going to do the TikTok trend where you count down and I made it one video. So that's exciting, and we're very happy, and he's the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me, and I couldn't ask for a better partner, to be completely honest. Again, off on a tangent. So we had to take a lot of our extra money from leftover from paychecks after bills were paid and um, try and get this paid off, which I'm going to show you that today and show you, sometimes you don't get to put money into savings and sometimes you don't get to put money into sinking funds. And that's just the way it goes. You just make sure that at least all of your most important, your four walls, which would be stuff like your house and all of your utility bills and food and everything like that, that's covered, because that's what really is the most important, because you don't want to be homeless and you don't want to go hungry. So I'm going to show you that and what we did. This is from my first video. I wanted to show you guys how we write out everything and like an estimate of what we're going to be looking at as far as what our bills are for the month, as well as how much we kind of estimate for variable expenses. And yeah, so this is our very minimum of what we should be expecting. 2,200 for me. That's usually after 6 shifts in one pay period. I usually get about 2,200 a paycheck. And then again, Jake's is 1,400, but that is also because he pays child support for his 2 kiddos. So let's get into that. So I did, like I said, I did film this video just the other day, but when I work 3 12-hour shifts, it really, really eats into me being able to do anything personal. Tuesday was just really busy, and so I did film, but I fumbled through that video, and I don't feel like I did a good enough job. I felt like I just struggled talking and everything. I mean, this is, I guess this essentially is really my 3rd video, so I'm still trying to get the how to talk to people that aren't really there, even though people are listening. So I'll go through this. So this is what I got paid on Monday. We had, this is what I budgeted, and I put everything down so that way I get like kind of a total. So I expected 2,200, and this is everything. Along with, well, first off, this is what I ended up getting paid, $25.97.27. Along with not only not paying the Costco bill, we also had to take into account that for our new place, we have to pay an initiation fee, like a lease initiation fee, not being initiated into anything, and 2 applicant fees. So basically $45 a piece for them to run our credit or whatever leasing offices have to do to make sure, that we're real people and we pay bills on time. So I had to take out $439 for a cashier's check for that. And then that also came out of the extra because I had to pay it back for when I got paid. But the problem is that our move-in date got pushed back a month, and our lease at this current place is up on October 31st. So unfortunately, we have to do a month-to-month one time for just November, so that way we can have all of November, because there's no way that we were going to be able to move in one weekend. It wouldn't even happen, because our lease wouldn't even start till November 4th anyway, that we would get keys for the new place. So what I had to do, and I think what I've showed you before, is that I have everything listed out per paycheck right here. So this right here equals 2,200, which is usually over what I need, but it covers the rent plus the pet rent plus the care and maintenance or community area maintenance fees, as well as water, sewer, trash. So because of that, though, we have to do a month to month. That's an additional $300 just to do a month to month. So I have to budget more for rent to try and make up for the fact that we have to pay at least, rent is ridiculous. It is so frustrating. And especially in Utah. Utah is very fast growing right now, and rent is insane. Not saying it's any different at all from the rest of the country. So I had to bump that up. So I gave myself 1,000 because, again, if you look at this one is more heavy on the big bills, the truck and the camper. And then this one is a little bit lighter. So because the RAV4 is now gone, this was pretty equal before the RAV4 was paid off. So now with the RAV4 gone, I have a little bit more wiggle room. And so to make up that difference, I'll be able to put extra on there and still be okay with my estimated 2,200. And hopefully that's or not hopefully, but hopefully it's not more than 2,600. I'll cry. I might cry, guys. I might cry. Anywho, so what we budgeted, and so I put 1,000 towards rent, and so I'll need to make up the difference, obviously, on the October 22nd paycheck. 486 for the truck, 321 for the camper, 10 for HBO, 20 for my Vasa, which is our gym, 150 which goes into IRA, and yeah, I talked about it on the last video. 150. I mean, it's not a lot, but at least it's something. And I also still contribute to my employee, the one that comes out of your paycheck as well, and with the matching and everything. Dominion is our gas, and I budgeted 30, but thankfully it only came out to 1561. Car wash is 22, and then Experian, which is for keeping track or watching our credit, is only $6. So that all came out to $2,030.61, which left a remainder of $566.66. And before I could pay back Costco, I had to pay back the $439 that I had taken out, because that $439 wasn't really free money. It was just in savings, but I needed it right then, so I had to pay that back, which only left me with $127.66. So this $127.66, I believe what I ended up doing, one sec, let me look at that. What I ended up doing was, there was some stuff that I had to pay back. Yes, we do use a credit card. We don't tend to carry balance. Unfortunately, Costco is the one that we ended up having to carry because I forgot to pay it. And it's not something I'm proud of. Again, we make mistakes, but we suck it up and we pay it back, and savings or whatever goes. I'd rather not carry debt, except for the big loan stuff. So this $127.66 went to pay back negative items. So we'll just put that here so I remember. Payback negative items. Yeah, and then I wrote myself a little note to make sure I remember to transfer the $439 back to savings, which I did yesterday. And so that pretty much takes care of my paycheck. So it's gone, but everything's accounted for and it's not outstanding now. So what we'll go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and get you started on Jake's paycheck, and I'll show you how we do our sinking fund, or no, our variable funds. All right, so, and I'll decorate this later as I usually do. It would just take forever to do with you guys because I don't ever know what design I'm gonna do. This one was a little bland, but it's got color. This will be October 11th. And this is for Jake. Oh, looks smaller. It's never consistent. I'm gonna move this calculator here. Okay. So, same as we did with this one. Income, what we budgeted, and what we actually got. Okay, so we budget 1,400. Such a round number, but it's zeros are easy. What he actually got, because he ended up doing a lot of overtime for this check, and I'm not really sure if his yearly pay increase was also included in this, but if not, like this still was a nice to have, and you'll see why we were able to pay off Costco, but I'll show you how that goes. And then we do variable. Expenses. Okay, so first we have groceries. And I will flip back and forth to this just because this kind of keeps me at least a little bit organized. So we have groceries, we have gas, we have eating out, his spending, my spending. The kids, this is technically their allowance because they do just have very minimal, they're only here every other weekend, so they have very minimal chores. So, and then Chuck is my cat. He is old and he's diabetic. So he has to have a budget of some sort just in case something happens for him. So, as far as budgeting goes, so 900, half of 900 is 450 is what we budgeted. Gas was 250, and so that's 125. Eating out was 125. His 75 minus 75. Kids, I budgeted 30. And Chuck, I budgeted 30. But because this was so good, I decided, you know what, let me just, because I don't want to take the risk of going over again. So I'll show you. So for groceries, what we ended up doing was the 450. Jake is really routine. He eats almost the same thing every single day. So the food that he consumes is actually pretty low. Not the amount of food, but the quantity of food. We don't have to grocery shop for a lot. And I'm also pretty consistent as well, like with my lunches at work. It's more so if we want to make dinner on the weekends and stuff like that, that more of that is spent, I guess. For gas, I gave us 150 just to make sure because I think we're both going to have to fill up. So I didn't want there to be any missing for this 2 weeks here. Eating out, I did bump up to 150. If it doesn't get used, I'll move it the next time his paycheck comes around. He got 75. I am giving myself 115, and this is only because me and my best friend went and did a ghost photo shoot. I'll post one probably over here, and just so that you can see. It was so much fun. We just wore sheets and sunglasses and just did, half an hour of posing and just silly stuff. It was so much fun. It was nice to be able to do that with my best friend. She's my longest running best friend. The kids, I gave 40, so 20 apiece. And then Chuck, I also gave 40. So let's go ahead and add both those up just so that you can see the difference of the 1,400 with the budgeted and the actual with the total. So I'll do this really quick. So after budgeting all of that, after going off of the 1,400, and I go with the minimum, and so that's something to keep in. Don't over stretch yourself. What you should do is always go with the lowest and then budget from there. I did give us a little bit more, obviously, because he brought more in. But again, what's left over, and I'll show you what happens to that, is we had to pay off that Costco. Okay, so the 1,400, if I would have gone based off of what I budgeted, it would have left me a remainder of 490. But because we had the extra, that left us with a total of 754.69. So what we did was we talked about it. The kids are here this weekend, and The Wild Robot, I believe, is in theaters. Let me get a little drink of this. My throat's getting dry. Okay. The Wild Robot is in theaters, and we thought it would be fun to go see if they haven't already gone with their mom. So we decided, we looked up movie prices, and then we gave us just a little bit extra for some concessions. I will go to the store and buy candy and take it in. I'm not opposed to that. The amount of money that they charge literally at concessions for movie theaters is astronomical. It sometimes is more than the actual tickets, and that's crazy to me. So we decided, okay, so we looked up at one of our local theaters. It's $8.25 per ticket. So 4 of us, they don't change the price based off of age, as $33. So we went ahead and I gave us, just to round it to an even number, $27 that we can use just for drinks or popcorn. Hopefully we're not spending $27, but I'd rather have it than not. So what we did is $60 is just going to go for our fun thing for the weekend with the kids. So that left us with $694.69. Okay, so $694.69. What I did was I took that 60 and I subtracted it from what we owed with Costco, which is like $553 and some change. So what I did was I took the 60 because when I get paid on the 22nd, I'll pay that 60 and it'll be gone. So I did the $493.59 towards Costco, which leaves us with 201.10, if my numbers are correct off to the side here. I have a lot of scratch paper that I go off of, and you guys don't want to see it because it's messy. So 201.10. So now the 201.10, here was another mess up. I told you before, when I thought that we had all this extra money, which we didn't, we went for a little weekend getaway. Well, because we were really bad at planning, basically. Again, we have the credit card. We didn't go negative in our checking account, but technically, yes, we went negative in the available funds that we had. So we robbed Peter to pay Paul, I guess for lack of a better term. So we went negative. So I had to make up the difference because yes, we still have to pay that American Express bill, even though even though it's already paid for with the credit card. So this gets us to zero. Like everything that was negative is paid off. And that's what this partly was, is that the $40 I did spend, and that technically put me negative in my spending. So I did get myself extra because it had to be paid back anyway because it was negative. So the 201 leftover is 90.96. So the most important one, sinking fund, that I'm really worried about, not worried, but like is important. I put fund because that's literally the only fund that I will be doing, is vehicle insurance. We pay our premium for the whole 6 months because, believe it or not, it is cheaper. They charge you more if you pay per month. So it's cheaper if I just save up during the 6 months and pay it at the start of the policy. And I've never done that before until just barely, when I realized that there is like $200 to $300, maybe not 200 to 300, but at least 200, I think, that is paid extra through the whole 6 month period. And I'd rather have that $200 for other stuff. I'm trying to do stuff. I'm trying to like save money and maybe hopefully retire one day. I don't know. So I gave that 75. So there's one to go to a sinking fund. Yay! So minus 75 sinking fund. That leaves us with 1596. We're going to leave this as a buffer. Hopefully nothing has to go negative, but we're just going to put buffer. 1596. Everything is zeroed out minus the Costco. Costco will be taking care of that $60 on my next paycheck in a week and a half. And that's it. These are real numbers. This real stuff happens. Money, and it's all learning. We're still learning, especially together, because joining finances together, we just barely really started. Our accounts are joined, everything like that, because we're going to be together. That's the plan. So we decided if we're living together, then all of our stuff just needs to be combined, and there's no more he takes care of himself and I take care of myself. We're partners in every sense. So, but this is real. Yes, I'm better at sitting down and actually doing this. He was not. He was just better at just not spending money, so he always had money left over. Me, not so much. If the money looks like it's there, I would spend it. I used to be really bad. And I will say, I totally give my ex-husband the credit for this, because he was so financially good that I learned how to be financially better with everything. So yeah, so I got obsessed with budgeting. I watched YouTube videos. I still watch so many YouTube videos. I will say that the first one that I really started watching and really fell in love with is the Budget Mom. I think her name is Miko. She would just lay everything out perfectly. Like, she would show you the how-tos, and I would love to be able to do that maybe when I'm not so nervous and I can mentally be able to sit down and show you that without pausing so much, and just when this becomes a smoother transition. But for now, I just wanted to show you how we do it. My paycheck is bills. Jake's paycheck is variable expenses, and it's real money. Like, we're not well to do. Being a nurse definitely helps. I don't think nurses are paid, no one thinks that they're paid what they should be paid, but it's still a struggle just figuring out. We do have things that are a luxury, but we do what we can do. If I can't do, like, let's say eating out, then we don't eat out. Like, if we don't have the money for it, we just don't. Unless I actually think I have more money than I do, then whoops. But this is real, and thank you so much for coming to watch my video, and I hope to see you again for the next one. And I hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. I hope everyone had a wonderful week. And same as always, peace, love, and prayers, however you choose to receive them. And I'll see you next time. Thanks.